Hit the wrong button. I guess we're rolling with it. What? Ernest? I just saw a message. Ernest can't make it over. What the heck? And come on, seriously. Just the way today is going. Just spent like $1,000 in my car and got to drive it for 2 days, and now it's not working again. So that's cool. So we're gonna work on things more and hopefully be able to afford probably getting a new. So gotta make some progress on this guy. Gotta be able to afford down payments. Anyways, listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve. If you're coming at this later, hey Polo, hey Metal Sonic. Say this is getting too real. Funny enough, it says nobody's in here yet, but I know there's at least a couple of you. So, some stuff I did off camera, doing some stuff, working on a Zilla for a buddy. Primered it. This one's gonna be animated. That's how he wants it. Worked on some turtles. I got a little bit more cleaning up to do on some of them, but they're more or less kind of wrapping up. I gotta get some. I ran out of isopropyl alcohol. I use a lot for 3D printing. Just put them out of that because it's also really good for getting paint off things. I don't know, I don't really need to make a custom evolved Godzilla since we already got plenty of options, to be honest. And I doubt I could do better. Ooh, you done with the custom Goji? That's sweet. But currently, this is where the other progress I made a little bit. So his neck's pretty much done. So everything works here. Little cat hair, but rawr. Mouth can close, mouth can open. Good there. I got this part permanently attached. I still got to clean up so you can't see the stomach anymore. But grabbing the upper body, but the head can rotate, get a bit of a wiggle. And same with the upper head too. Play around with it a little bit. Also worked on the foot, so the foot's attached, and then there's some sculpted bit to hide my crimes. Hey, Lady Draco. I'm super stoked for Romulus. I found out Cinemark's has a alien head popcorn bucket, and there's not one near me, and it hurts my feelings because I wanted it. So hopefully today I kind of want to work on is sculpting this part here to finish hiding the leg. And then for the knee, and then this part will keep this kind of in place so that you'll still be able to move around freely, but this isn't going to like shift down so it sees the leg. Because I don't want to glue this part in because I kind of want to keep it a little bit flexible just for movement. And then also did the top of the arms here. So again, just trying to hide all the joint parts. So we got that here too. Oh, that sucks pulling. So Ernest, you have to let me know next time you can come over because we got some things we're gonna review. I was gonna say could come over tomorrow sometime. Jessica called in or calling in something because my car broke down. So good times there. So yeah, you have to let me know sometime you can come over. Yeah, I was gonna say I saw the text. Mr. Hobson's a vet appointment. I guess I could wait till Tuesday. Probably have to be after I get out of work though. Yeah, it sucks because I just spent $1,000 on the car and I got to drive it twice. And now it was driving fine until I went to get on the highway, hit 50 miles an hour, and then as my foot is accelerating, the car is decelerating. Don't think that's supposed to happen. And then I get home and the car is starting to smell like solder. So it's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't drive it anymore. Yeah, the headers had to be all redone on it. And I got a buddy that works on the stuff, but it's one of those like repairs that like nobody can do without a shop. And the guy has like his own lift and everything to work on cars, but that one thing sucked. So yeah, so I might have him check it out, and then if it's gonna be an expensive again fix, just got to bite the bullet and figure out how to get a new car. So that'll be cool. Yeah, at least like it was sitting in the dude's yard for a while because it was over at his house for like a month, randomly getting worked on. So I was like, I saved quite a bit of money having to fix it, but it just takes forever. Man, let's just start making some progress. Make me happier. Oh, where are my gloves? I got 2 gloves here, but these look like I've used them previously. I'm sometimes really bad about throwing these out. Like I'll just take them off and just like shove them off to the side. Honestly, it'll probably just be having to probably just go sell some stuff. Help afford getting a new car. Need to make more room anyways. This will give me way more incentive to do it. Okay, so for the arms, what I'm going to be doing is sculpting this here. I want to make sure the joint isn't impeded by anything. Come over to your house, forget to put it right. I don't have full coverage on it anymore. It's just not worth having full coverage on it. Hungry Shark I think I know what you're talking about. I did see the Haya post today. The Haya post is dumb. It's cool. Like, I'm excited for it because now I don't need to get the monster arts because that thing's a thing. Comes with a beam, extra hands. Super dope. It's the because they announced they're doing a 1991 Godzilla. It's the same Godzilla that they've already announced that isn't even available yet, but you can already pre-order a new version of it with atomic spines, comes with atomic blast, and extra hands. And it comes with extra stuff. It's going to be the same price as the first version. It's not even out yet. So it's just like, great for me, because now I don't have to buy that one. I'm just going to buy the atomic version since I already have a Monster Arts 91. And then it saves me not having to buy the atomic version of the Monster Arts. So it's like they managed to screw over one company, plus screw themselves over because I'm not going to buy the other thing. I don't understand. But it's not my company. I'm not worried about it. Like I said, for me, it's great because I get to save money. I love saving money. I don't have to buy an extra figure. Sold. Yeah, that still sucks about the 14 hours a day. I want to say that I know you're a pain, but I don't, because half my days are only like 6-hour shifts generally, with a couple of 8 hours here and there. Yeah, so like the Haya thing is neat, but I don't know. I just personally, I think the way that they've been doing things is a little bit bad practice. Because like I said, I think like definitely hurt them on King Ghidorah sales. Sorry. It probably didn't hurt them at King Ghidorah sales. It just hurt the companies having to pre-buy the figures. So, like, say for Big Bad Toy Store, like, they have to allocate, okay, we're going to get this many figures from them, and we have the pre-orders. But, because everybody sees the new figure, everybody goes and cancels their pre-orders in order to hop onto the new figure. So now they're stuck with all the King Ghidorahs that people canceled. Yes, Calculus does ship internationally. I know it's not to everywhere, but most everywhere. Ooh, outside of the porch right now? Sweets. I'm in my basement. Working on things. So the other thing, too, I forgot to mention is I have to also re-sculpt this part here. Because my plan is I'm going to just add a little bit of epoxy putty over top of this. This is going to rest over top of everything. And this is going to be like the part that hides the elbow. Instead of being the bicep. So we will see how that goes. I have a go on this. Probably should take a shower. Not sure if I'm going to today. Took one yesterday. Worked a little bit today. Angle you guys down a little bit. Whoops, don't need to do that. So like I mentioned, I want to be able to keep the articulation point here. So I'm just kind of applying the epoxy around it. Oh, fish, did GMK repaint? Which one were you repainting again? I think I remember you telling me. But I forget. The NECA? Okay. I was going to assume it was the NECA, but... because NECAs are good ones that always do repaint stuff. Like, Monster Arts is really good too, but the problem is the initial cost of getting into it. The skeleton was a 1/6 doll. You'll see parts of it here. Like right there. Because for the most part, whenever I do like 1/6 scale style figures, I tend to kit bash a lot of joints. So like the tail is a bunch of NECA tails that I've had hanging around here. And the body is a mix between that and, again, just kind of like other parts of Godzilla. Ohio is a bit of a drive for me. Not as bad as you would think, because I live in Michigan. It's still a pretty bad drive, though. Nah, you don't visit me. This place is boring. Boring as balls. It's not a place to live. Not that much to do around here. Got my child upstairs. She's, rah, 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 rah. Just taking the clay, kind of just mushing in the parts. Because I'm going to try to do my best to blend it in with the original joint. Where's the cat? Good question. Usually if I'm working down here, he tends to hang out down here. I was like, they just reissued the legendary Voltron stuff, so that shouldn't be as hard to get hold of. Appreciate it, Godzilla. Also, if you wouldn't mind using the link, there is a link in the description. If just whenever you're ordering anything, it doesn't have to be the particular thing in the link, but if you use the link, it also helps me out a lot. But I still appreciate you using the discount code, using the discount code regardless, because it, again, saves you money. That is what we are about. So right now I'm just trying to look and see where I can, hopefully you can see kind of there, but just moving along with the detailing. The putty is really soft right now, so it tends to sometimes not want to stick as well as you think. But more or less, I'm just trying to match the detailing and then just kind of do my own thing afterwards. Well, it sounds like currently Ernest is in the shower. Jessica is watching Casey upstairs. Sounds like they're having a good time. Because Casey tends to be a little bit of a pill later on in the day. One thing I like about this little piece is it has some like dried epoxy putty. And I don't know why, but just trying to do Godzilla skin texturing, it just works really well. At the warehouse, just processing the email. That's the one really nice thing about Big Bad. I tend to get a lot of my anime figures off Big Bad because I could just let them, like, I don't, in terms of views, they don't get that many views on the channel, so I don't mind them just waiting around to save on shipping. Entertainment Earth, wow, great website. They do sponsor us. I just squished the crap out of this. Now I'm sad. But I tend to, like, personally myself, I order from them when I know I'm going to be like making good use out of the free shipping, because then they're definitely the cheaper option. So usually, like, Street Sharks were great through them because it was just like I ordered all the Street Sharks and got free shipping. While, like, a lot of my anime figures come out like sporadically, so those I tend to do like through Big Bad, or if not, if I just don't straight import them. Though with this, I'm trying to do some bigger textures because it's a bigger figure, so I tend to go a little bit larger than what I normally would do with, like, normal Godzilla stuff or Godzillas. Because one thing I notice I catch myself doing is because I tend to work in a lot smaller sizes, I tend to make the details a little bit smaller right off the rip, and then I kind of gotta go back through and fix them. Never wonder what I'm using. It's just epoxy putty. It's like it's a two-part clay. Gets used a lot for like countertops and what have you. But the particular one I get is more for sculpting and crafts. Jack Black looked better if long. I don't know. I kind of like him with long hair, to be honest. More than likely, I'm not going to get the Ghidorah because, as cool as it is, like, I think between the two, I think it's the one I would rather have. But because I have the original version and I make beams, I don't really need it. And like I said, a lot of stuff that I order now, I kind of try to keep it more to stuff I feel like I need instead of just like getting something just to review for the channel. Which is really all that would be. I'd be getting it to review for the channel and then probably trying to get off of it. Or get off my old one. Either way, it would make me have to sell things. And because I don't get a lot of the figures sent for free that often, this is one of those ones I'm not too worried about. Which Bayflex Spidey are you talking about? So I know there was like a new... I don't know, I'm thinking Figure Arts. Figure Arts, the... Oh, I can't think of his name. It's like the Middle Eastern Spider-Man from the new one. His name's slipping my mind right now. For the most part, I think we're paint matching. There's a couple areas I'll probably end up repainting totally, which is particularly like the nails, teeth, and I think that's about it. Everything else is just going to kind of get reverted back to the way it was. If all goes according to plan, anyways. Depends on what you already collect. Like, if you're collecting the like Monster Arts already, I think the evolved one is the superior looking figure. But if you aren't like in the race or in the need of having the Monster Arts, I think the Haya is just like the better like bang for your buck. Because the Haya one will probably be good anyway, so it'll probably look good. Sometimes, like a lot of the times, their product, the promotional pictures don't usually look quite as good as when the stuff comes out, but it's still good. So I would say you're fine. Also, it just kind of depends on your budget too. Like I know for me, I'm getting the Haya for sure. Just because I gave up on legendary Monster Arts figures. And just sticking with Haya for those. And then most everything else is going to be primarily Monster Arts unless they do something crazy. Like they announced they were doing a GMK. That's kind of cool. I don't need a GMK. But still kind of neat. Okay, so there's the forearms. Like I said, this will sit on top and kind of hide everything. Is the hope. But just to show you. skin texturing. Yeah, I say the Haya is much cheaper. Because the Haya you're looking at like 60-ish bucks for on average, while the Monster Arts is, I think 130 is about the middle ground for that. So you can almost get two for the same price. Super 7. If you can get the Super 7 Destroy, it's pretty sweet. It's a bit stylized, but it's a... When you get it in hand, it is a super cool figure. And it comes with the little aggregates. Depends on your budget, because it's still not like the cheapest figure. It's still... I think he was like 125. But for what you get, it is a super cool figure. I really like that one. Put off the knees. We don't need the knee. Well, we need them, but where the heck does... You know, I stuff aluminum foil into things, expecting the thing to stay in the aluminum foil. God forbid. I would love to show you my movie Monster Series Shin, but they're all upstairs. Downstairs, I don't really have too many of the... oh, I just dislodged that. No, it's not what I was trying to do. Well, anyways, like I said, I kind of want to get the arms done. I think it's my primary goal today. So I need to shift this arm out, and then I'm going to try to go really lightly on the epoxy putty on here. And kind of just encapsulate it. And just like enough that I can add some detail to it. Without getting into the actual jointed sections. Hey, Kamekra. Like I said, a lot of this is going to get hidden by that lower joints. So it doesn't have to be perfect around the edges, but we want it pretty darn close. But I also don't want to go too thick because I need that piece to still be able to slide over this. Cooler's kind of tough. Because it definitely could be a bit subjective. Because honestly, I think some of the the more unique looking ones are probably cooler. Like some of the marmots with the shifting colors and what have you. Those are all, I think, really cool and fairly unique. I also like my Evangelion X Plus Godzilla. Again, just because it's more unique looking. Oh, there's the Shiryu. That one's pretty dope. The Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. It does look weird. It looks like he, the suit actor took off his pants, took off the legs to get some air. I know for the upper arm, I might have to come back through and re-sculpt this again after I get done with it. To maybe get more into the elbow, but for right now, I kind of want to just get this part looking good, and then if I need to adjust afterwards, I'll adjust afterwards. It's really hard getting all this putty into certain... Because I can't really remove this section anymore. The lower arm I got a bit of play with. This I don't. So it's just a lot of work trying to get it set. And then, like I said, I was adding a little bit of detail to it. So like I said, this part will get hidden. And then when this is dry, we'll shift the arm back up into the there. Because for the most part, I think resting, it doesn't need to extend outward, but it'd be nice to still have the option. Like I said, I'm just kind of trying to match the way the scaling is. So for the most part, just doing it the way I was doing it. Just making lines and kind of weaving in and out. I probably could make a legendary. I definitely done enough repaints. Plus, there was the X Plus I like highly modified. Or not X Plus. The NECA where we redid all the spines. I had to redo part of the face. Kiwi would be an interesting one because I haven't really done too much mechs. A lot of the time whenever I'm working on these, like I said, like all these are commissions. So like this will end up being a paid gig. I didn't pay for this figure. The customer did. I'm just here to wreck it. Wreck it while making it look good. I think it's going pretty well. Try to kind of see the workings for the scaling. Like I said before with epoxy, you kind of gotta, like I would like to sit here and be a little bit more intricate with the detailing for the spikes or the scaling and what have you. But you only get so much time to really mess with this stuff. So for the most part, I try to get as close as I can, but there is a certain point where you just got to be kind of happy with what you got and move on with life. I try my best to get close. Oh, thanks, Kaiju Killer. Yeah, well, for a lot of these, like, this guy got, like, the figure got sent in, and I'm working on it for him. He pays me for my time. I'll be honest, I probably should charge more for what I do, but I like doing this. Like, it's a nice stress relief. So people sending me things kind of gives me fodder to play with. Then, like, realistically, it's like, how much can I really charge for an action figure and get away with it? For the most part, I think hours-wise, I make like minimum wage doing this. But some of them I can get done pretty quick, so not so much. This guy's kind of in the ladder. Because for the most part, he's like, not super time-consuming, but I can only spend like a couple hours on it at a time. So it'll be like, I'll spend like an hour today working on this. I'll spend an hour probably tomorrow working on something else on it with the sculpting. And then once the sculpting is done, the paint goes by pretty quick. It's like the one thing I'm usually pretty fast at is I can get a paint job cracked out in couple hours. But I tend to work the same way, where I'll just work on a little bit of the paint job one day, work on a little bit of paint job the next day. Unless they really, really want it done fast. And then I charge accordingly. Yeah, it's kind of the same, like working with Bondo. Because I know a lot of cosplayers use Bondo for like armor and stuff. The underarm, I'm not really as concerned about getting this to be quite right looking, but again, still the same. Kind of using the same technique. I'm just going through and kind of do a straight line and bending it in a little bit, just to cap off the scale. And then I just kind of, like each line, I kind of do it a little differently, just to spice it up. Because for the most part, I kind of do his scales almost like a bit more Heisei. At least on these sections here, because there's going to be a lot of contact, so I don't want these high edges with the clay because it could possibly break. There we go. So once it's dry, I'll push it back in. Like I said, this will kind of be a cap over, this will be like the cap over top of it, and then hiding the elbow piece going in here. So I'm not doing anything with, the elbow will stay looking human, but it'll be hidden by everything. Finger was bitten off. Andy lost a shark leg from a shark I seen earlier. Got a rough life there, Landon. Yeah, it kind of does look a little funnier upside down, doesn't it? Okay, new fun part. Now I gotta not touch this while doing the other side. Hey, Godzilla King. Oh, sweet lord, I got mine too. That's what I was trying to talk to Arnez, possibly get him over to. The waist gap will probably be. I really don't want to use clay. My thought is I might go around with some aluminum and then use Warbler to expand it. That or. Maybe use the Warble as a base and then go around with the Sculpting just to like do a really thin layer. Thin layer of clay around there just to hide this a bit. Because for the most part, I kind of want to like bend in a little bit, so then I'll still be able to do its crunch, go back all the way, get side to side, but like that's hidden pretty well. Is the hope, anyways. Shoulder, just like the other one, shift it down all the way, so it gives me a little bit more play. I would really like, actually, to be honest, I think I could pop this off. Maybe not. was gonna say it's not really glued in, but the clay's kind of adhered to this part pretty well the way I had it dried. And that worst case, when you're working with the stuff, like if I went a little too far down on this, I can always sand it off after it dries. I've had to do that for a few parts already because I had to sand the undersection of the neck to make sure get a little more play out of it. Honestly, I might mess around with that a little bit more anyway, even after the fact. Once I get it all sculpted, I'll mess around with the articulation a bit more. The base, the Godzilla part of the figure is an X plus. It's the the movie Toho, Super Toho series '99. He's not a cheap. It's not a cheap statue that we started with. I want to say he was like $300 to a little over $3. He was imported, and then just sent to my house. So he was imported to me. He was bought off eBay. Used this as the base, and then chopped it up. Did all this on stream. Not sure what you mean by joint added. Talk about this part, because this is just the same joint from the base figure. But with these 1/6 figures, you can kind of like pop apart parts of them, so you're able to work on it. I think I'm good this almost good to sculpt. It's a little extra clay here, which I kind of want to bring down here so I can span this out a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not like this part being nice is not as important because this is going to get hidden by the forearm piece that was originally this. We'll hide everything. I've had him for a few weeks now, but like I was saying earlier, it's a lot of me randomly working on it for like an hour here and there. So I haven't been working on it like for the entire month. It's just kind of like periodically I've been working on it more and more. With a lot more progress being this week. This last week and this week we've gotten like the neck, the arms, the body, the tail's mostly done. I still have to work on cleaning these up a little. I gotta work on cleaning that up a little bit more, adding that, and then like hiding a couple things. Not the same thing. All the Godzilla figures are all upstairs, so I can't really show anybody anything. I don't know if you've ever seen one of our tour videos for my collection, but each room in my house is a different theme. And Godzilla stuff is my living room. Or just kaiju, like kaiju in general, is the living room. The only kaiju thing that I don't have in the living room is my Pacific Rim. But all like my robot stuff is the dining room. Yeah, he was originally 12 inches. I've added, doing this, I've added a little bit more to him. So So he's probably more like 14 now. So he's a pretty big boy. He also weighs quite a bit now because of all the added stuff to him. Try to show you guys a little bit of the process, but like I said, it's literally just kind of dabbing and just fleshing out the scales bit. This right now, it's still pretty malleable, so it shifts around quite easy. And just trying to flesh out the scaling. You can also use like a toothpick would work good for this. Toothpick, you can even like the little bladed part would probably still work all right for this. Kind of like that. And you just blend it in. It's just with the bladed section, it's smoother, so the sections are going to come out a little bit cleaner looking, while this has a bit of, like I said, this has some like texture to it because of the epoxy. I just touched this. One of the fun things about sculpting, and one of the reasons why I tend to do this little by little, is because this can happen. Because I tend to not pay attention to when I'm doing things. So I'll go to like shift my hand. Like you said, shift my hand to show you guys, but then I don't realize that I'm touching something else I've already worked on. Actually, the legs aren't bad. The tail is probably the hardest part, because the tail, I got to keep the weight down so it can work. Problem is get the look still. Looks still good while keeping the weight down. Because if I could epoxy putty like this, make my life easy. And even here, epoxy kind of sucks because the more I add epoxy, the more weight it adds. And this already wants to shift down. So then when I'm all done, I got to tighten this joint so that it can hold the weight a little bit better. But like everything you do adds more weight to it, which puts more strain on the joints. Yada, yada, yada. Yep, literally just designed to be kind of like a manta suit. So you'll notice like I didn't cut the shoulder joints out because I want the opposability to still work like a man in a suit. The shoulders aren't going to shift in the suit, so why would I need the shoulders to shift on the actual figure? And then that would also just incorporate more cuts, which more cuts tends to be more fixing, which more fixing means more weight. And there's just generally a lot of forethought when you're working on these. Sometimes, like I said, this I kind of there's some parts like I didn't really want epoxy putty here, but I really need this to not move. And Warbler wasn't getting the job done with that because it's not very good at adhering. It doesn't work quite like glue. Well, epoxy like sticks to everything, so hard's like a rock, sticks to it. So it works great as like a glue and a binder. Plus, because of how hard it is, it keeps things from moving. While the Warbler was not doing that. Well, the nice thing about Warbler is it keeps the weight down, but it's also much harder to sculpt with. Because it's thermoplastic, so you only really get like so much time the sculpt before you got to heat it back up. Then you're going to sculpt it, heat it back up, sculpt it, heat it back up. It's a bit of a process. So we thought about using this to keep the weight down. And I still think I have to. But I only want to use it in parts where the detailing isn't as important. So that's why I'm trying to keep it mainly the tail. I'll probably use it to hide the leg, like hide the aluminum here. So I'll fill this with Florblow. Keep the again, try to keep the weight down so the legs will be able to hold themselves better. Sad thing is, I was hoping to get through the legs today, but I don't think I'll have enough time. Might still give it the college try, but because I still got a bunch of epoxy putty here, so I kind of want to use it. Like I said, for the underarm, I'm not trying to be a super detail oriented. No, I'm not getting surgery. The doctor doesn't recommend it. Because the way my hernia is, it's not super big. It was hurting a lot when I initially inquired about it, but after waiting 4 months to see the guy, it's not so bad anymore. It recessed. So it's not that bad right now. So his recommendation was just to wait, pretty much just wait and see if it gets worse. If it gets worse, we do surgery. So now I got a weight belt. So now when I work, I need to have that on so I don't aggravate it. No, it was just me getting old, but I picked up the thing today, and I was just like, man, this is just another thing I'm gonna have to wash. Oh, did he arrive? Holy sh! Yes, it only took him like a month and a half. Oh, well, that's cool. Well, I was gonna say I have one printed that the guy hasn't paid for yet, so I was just gonna start painting it for you. That's sweet. Did it arrive okay? Is it nothing's damaged? They didn't throw it against the wall repeatedly. Like I said, the foots on that guy are going to be weird anyways because of the way the elastic because they're a base for the elastic, so you don't get too much play with them. The actual feet, but everything else it moves around. Because I tried doing the wire for the feet, which would give you a little bit more play with it, but it seemed like with the stress, I was having more problems than just using it as an anchor. All right. Sadly, that part touched, so we gotta smooth that out. Cool. So there's both the arms. So with that, his arm should be done. Good to go. Well, so once that cures tomorrow, I can put it together. I won't have to touch them anymore. Because once the arms and legs are done, the tail I could probably get done in like hopefully an hour with what I got left to do. And if I do what I got to do here, hopefully that will make life easier. I think with the amount of time I got, I'm probably going to do this section here real quick and call it a day, because then that'll harden. This won't move anymore. Be able to work. Right? He's like, look at me. Look at me. Rawr. In case you're listening to Jurassic Park today on the way home. Almost tipped over. That would have been bad. Have a good one, Landon. I need to pop the feet off. Oh. All right, I gotta do the mistake I did the other day of epoxy puttied the part where the ball, like this, I'd be okay with because the ball joint's in here, so I don't have to worry about. Because the foot, I encapsulated it and kept enough so I can make sure I can pop the foot back in. Problem is, this has to expand quite a bit for the ball joint to fit in. And I didn't account for that. So I had to take my Dremel and Dremel this little opening so it gave it enough room to expand. Also now noticing that the leg there well, I'm glad you like the paint job though.
Yep. Sorry, I called in. I did text Kenny about the car. And I wasn't sure exactly, like, what it was exactly doing besides for it was having a hard time going on the highway, and it seemed like it was burning by the smoke by the tires.
Yeah. Yeah, I got back with Steve and Ashley too, so we'll see. Like I said, I'll probably just end up taking it to Kenny. Stuff about my car problems.
The many cars.
The many problems that is my car. So now, hopefully, pop that in, and then it'll kind of be one piece. Yeah, like we mentioned it before, that 91 looks sick. It looks very good. I still think it's funny that the first one hasn't even come out yet. And again, they already posted that they have a better one coming out. So I don't know what their business model game plan is. My thought is that people will buy anything, maybe. So they can hurt themselves by people canceling orders to get other stuff going. Like I said, it's a weird business model for me, but hey, if it works for them, it works for them. I would have waited until the 91 Ghidorah came, like release the first 91, and then when Ghidorah is releasing, then you'd be like, hey, we have a Godzilla. You guys missed out on the first one. But now I don't have to pre-order, because I seen the Monster Arts is doing one too. And I was like, sweet, I'll probably grab that. Looks really good. Then I seen the High, and I'm like, sweet, I don't have to buy the Monster Arts one anymore, and I don't have to buy the original release of the High anymore. Solved my problems. Because again, I like saving money. Oh, this is going to be the fun part because trying to match all this detailing. Like I said, I'm not trying to be perfect, but I want it to like kind of look seamless. As much as humanly possible. So for my original cuts, I'm just kind of moving along with it. And then from here, I can kind of do whatever I want. Just add in some variety here and there. Because I think I checked the tracking on that Zilla yesterday, and it still says it's in Illinois. I still kind of want to file a complaint just for giggles. Be like, yeah, we haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. But I won't. Like I said, now I just know if I am shipping USPS to never again ship it from that place. Because both of the things that I shipped from there both had issues. Which is already frustrating to begin with because when I was shipping them out, the lady was complaining that when I shipped them, because she was old and said my handwriting was too small. So good times. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say for completionist people, it's great that you'll be able to get both. Honestly, like I kind of want to get both, like for that same reason. But I already have the Monster Arts 91. I really like my Monster Arts 91. And I was initially only going to really get the 91 for review purposes. But now I'm just going to wait because then because I was going to get the Ghidorah anyways. Again, for review purposes, but now it gives me more incentive to once it comes in, if I like it, I'll just keep it because I'll have its companion piece. And then it also just saves me, I don't need the alternate version of the Monster Arts. So I just need a little bit of clay right on this end piece here. We do need a Legion Monster Arts. It's the one I've been most waiting for. I'll pay the monies. I want it. Because it definitely isn't going to be a cheap Monster Arts. Like, I imagine it could probably be more expensive than Iris was. And I'm okay with that. Because I want it in my life. There we go. So that kind of blends a bit better. Hides everything. Once that hardens, then I can mess around with it without moving. I got to do the same thing to the top portion here. That's going to be a different day. So we're going to do the same thing to this side. Yep, Legion's my favorite monster. Second would be Biolante. I wish I had the X Plus Legion. Every time it's come up for order, I've never had enough money to pre-order it. And I don't have the Gamera anyways, so it's one of those. Well, if I buy the Legion, I'm spending like $500-600, and then I gotta try to get a hold of the Gamera. Again, spending money. So I never had the best opportunity to get it. But I got my smaller one. I'm pretty happy with it. because I have the. It was like X Plus before they really started making all the big stuff. And that one actually scales really well at the monster art. So, like I said, I'm really happy with that thing because at least I have a Legion that works. Articulate the biolante. God, I don't have the time. That thing would be a nightmare. I would honestly, if I was gonna do that one, I would probably it would just be wires. I'd just do like heavy duty wires for the tentacles. I think would be the best way to go. Like I would almost just want to redo all the tentacles. Like I would probably scan the tentacles, print them because you could get like rubber resin, and I would just print it with that. Put a wire in it. Be good to go. I do like it because like the back of this leg is not nearly as detailed as this side, so I get to kind of do what I want with the back piece. Right here's kind of blend in. Again, trying to make like starting lines for detailing where it needs to, so it blends better. So it is starting to get to the point where it's starting to get a little bit harder now, so instead of flexing, it wants to tear. So we're getting to the point to where the stuff isn't going to be like I definitely don't want to be trying to finesse with it too much. You know, like I said, I'm trying to be as good as I can. It's not going to be perfect. Like the neck, I would like to work on a little more. The tail, I think, is pretty good for the way it is. The arm should be pretty damn posable when I'm done. And then the way I'm doing it should keep the legs pretty posable too. The only thing I'm kind of concerned about is the waist. Like I showed earlier, because even the weight it has right now, it wants to sag. Which I might be able to tighten. I hope I can tighten it. If I can't tighten it, then I gotta get creative. But for right now, I'd say once it's set up, I'll worry about it when we get to it. So I think my goal, I'll be honest, I kind of need money. So I kind of want to be at least like the detailing. I kind of want to try to be as set up pretty well by early next week, or I can set, hopefully match the paint. Worst case scenario is sometimes doing these, it can be hard to color match sometimes depending, and I tend to, in that regards, I'll dry brush. Dry brushing solves a lot of problems. So something isn't blending right or the color isn't quite matching, once you dry brush, it don't matter, because then everything matches because you made it match. Oh, thanks, Anthony. Yeah, like I want to try to keep it at least. It could do like pretty much everything in the movie. The tail is the only thing that's like hit and miss. Like it's posable, but because of the way it was already shaped to begin with, it's really posable in a certain direction. Granted, you can rotate it. I don't know why, but doing Godzilla scales is just very therapeutic. Just a lot of dabs. You just go straight, you angle it a little bit, good to go. Go straight, you angle a little bit, good to go. Do a lot of different sizes. I want to say it does take quite a bit of skill to do this, especially like the intricate details, like getting all these nooks and crannies and getting it precisely right. Like it's definitely very time consuming. No, this guy though, he was a scan, so this is like the suit. But then again, the person that made the suit had to do all this stuff too. It just kind of helps you appreciate the craft a bit more. Like I feel like I got a little bit more like intimate with the figure. Like I know the original sculptor's pain trying to do this. But like I mentioned before, this stuff's starting to get a bit harder. So I don't really want to mess with this too much more. But there's a couple of these scalings I'd like to show up a little bit better. Like I said, for at least it won't be perfect in terms of matching the detailing. But after I paint it, it shouldn't like you'll look at it and be like, whoops, we're good. Like I said, it's starting to harden, so it's a bit forgiving. But I don't want like the way I'm detailing you to look at it and like see it with your eyes and be like, oh, this is where the detail stopped originally. I kind of want it to still like blend. Still got just a little bit of epoxy putty left. Like, to be honest, this probably isn't. It could probably just be. Hold up. This part could be a little smoother looking at it. So I'm going to squish this down a little bit and just texture it. Because of the way the detailing is here, it's not super detailed. So, again, kind of want the blend a little bit. So oddly enough, this side has a bit more of like the crag, and it kind of like the way it bends into the foot here. It would have had this detailing, so it's weird. At least with the epoxy, the Warbler, it's hard to, because you'll see here, even me after sculpting it, there's still like a separation. So I got to work on that some more, but I think I got to use the hair dryer on that. So I can heat it up. I'm not going to melt the vinyl. I was using a heat gun. Yeah, because like the suits aren't done in like one big piece. They do like each section, and then it all gets kind of like glued together eventually, I think is how it goes. Anything else I need the little piece for? I really don't want to waste it. Oh, actually, you know what? I had something I had to repair on you, didn't I? Got this little 3D figure reprinted a little bit ago. I gotta paint it, but there's a couple of pieces I gotta fix because with a lot of 3D printed stuff that I do, or like people get figures made by other people and then they send them to me for me to work on, I gotta fix or I tend to change things. So initially this didn't have ball joints and everything kind of went in like this for the limbs. So it would have been everything. Problem is because resin, when you're 3D printing, it tends to be a little bit more bigger because of there's some expansion, so nothing won't fit. And it's like I could drill and try to make everything fit, and hopefully it fits. But when you drill, it's not going to be as precise. So sometimes it can be a little loose. It could be problems arise. So I just went screw it, made everything ball joints that I could. But there was this piece here that originally I had it good, but it broke off. I don't know. I should probably pin this, but we'll see how good I can get it. So I think I want to try to make it fit, and then I can make it a little bit more precise afterwards. Otherwise, my hands are getting really tacky, so everything wants to stick to my hands because I got clay all over them more than the resin. So I just need that to kind of stick. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna. Work the way I want it to. I might have to just make a rod and start a new one. Oh, might be making progress. Hold up. Because I kind of want to just make it, like I said, make a cap, and then I could pop it back off and then reinforce the cap afterwards. What I would like to do. Like I said, the problem is it keeps wanting to attach to my finger. I don't want it to attach to my finger. Oh, it's also just going to bend repeatedly too. Sorry for the cough, guys. I got a little bit of wet here. Yeah, it's definitely probably not to pin it. I was kind of hoping it would. It's like, can I just get it to stay vertical? That's all I want in life. Kind of like that. That'd be cool with that. Fingers be a little more wet. Oh, about an hour 20 now. Oh, might have made some progress. Okay, so if I can get that to stay vertical, which is cool. Methinks. Then I'll just have to sand it a little bit afterwards. All will be well. We'll come back. Oh yeah, that's starting to get pretty hard. Yep, like I said, the Godzilla's been it's been like I said on and off. I'll work on it a little bit here and there. Also, the skirt I gotta fix ever so slightly. Yeah, I think this stuff's a lost cause. At least for attaching to things, it doesn't want to go. I do got to do this piece. Maybe a little piece of this will work well. There we go. All right. Because I also got to get ready to go to bed. I got to work early tomorrow. So I got really quiet, trying to match as good as I can. And then there's also a little cat here that got right here. There we go. Good to go. Evil little cat here. Oh, a tea. Where'd my tea go? Oh, you know, it's probably in the office. Can I get an epic statue of Trump? I'll be honest, I don't know. I haven't really tried making a human character. I don't really do like humans too often. I'm really good at monsters, which for some people, but it'd be an interesting one. Probably not great for the channel though, because for some odd reason, it's kind of funny with Godzilla stuff, but you never really want to tie politics with Godzilla because people get angry. But then again, Godzilla was started based off of politics for the most part, so it's kind of weird. Like Godzilla is very political to begin with. A timeout? I know there's somebody makes one that you could 3D print, and there was talks of me painting one, which I was down for because time might be a fun one to paint. But they never got back with me, so I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I know there's the Playmates one coming out, and I'm kind of interested in fudging around with that one, kind of like we did with the Skull Crawler. But then again, I can see like something moved. I can see like higher, well, higher maybe giving us time out. Since they did give us the Muto, they didn't give us the male yet, but I imagine he's just like a matter of time. But for this, I'm just trying to fill in some gaps because when I drilled this, it kind of cracked a couple of pieces. So I'm just trying to make it not look like it cracked. But yeah, it'd be really cool if I did a timeout. Because again, it'd be like the Godzilla and stuff. Like they love making reissues. And you could just do regular time on, and they could do like super neon-y time on. Yeah, I probably should have gave up on this epoxy putty. This stuff does not want to do what I want it to do anymore. Because there's a certain point where this stuff, like, it's really easy to adhere to other things, and then it'll hit a point where it only really wants to adhere to itself. So then it really likes to stick to them, to whatever you're sculpting with, which we are currently at that point. But I think that looks okay enough. Is this one good? Smooth it out a little bit with some water. For the most part, the legs are going to be kind of hidden anyways, but I just want to make it look cleaner. It'd make me feel better. So I still got to want to add like a little layer around the bottom of the outfit. And then that'll be actually good to paint. So probably tomorrow if I work on this more, because like I said, I want to try to get the upper knee done, and then I can warbler the inside of the leg. And then the legs will be done, the arms will be done, the head's done, then it'll just be the waist. Still trying to figure out exactly how I'm hiding this hole here in the chest. Right here. See where like the arm goes into? I gotta wait to see how the range of motion is, but I definitely gotta try to fill in that little gap on the under section, which that just might be Warbler. It's probably a good Warbler candidate. So there's his little stumps. And then, oh, actually, well, I got this. His hand popped back in. And I needed to not do that ever again. And to be honest, I don't really need the sauna anymore. I keep saying Warbler. The epoxy isn't really at a heat. Bam! I just fought at that monster now too, the dragon in Elden Ring. That was a fun fight. I like that one. Though, like a lot of boss fights in Elden Ring, you're just like, hey, I showed up, sweet. I could probably hopefully start doing my summons, and then you just get sidelined. But I'm gonna take some of this and stick it in the hand here, because I've done this twice now, where I have this joint set up, and then it gets pushed in. So we are epoxying it. So now when it hardens, this won't move anymore, and all will be well. Get that off my finger. Oh, and I think that's pretty much about it. The other thing I gotta get working on is this guy too. I haven't forgotten about you, Russell. I actually just got the stuff in to get the glue back off, so then I can color match it a little better and be good to go. One of the Zillas, so the file, it was made by Arctic Figures. If you have a 3D printer, know somebody with a 3D printer. It's I think about $11 plus tax if you buy it off their Cult 3D site. So you can get the file, and then, like I said, you just got to find somebody that has a printer, or if you have one yourself, you can print it. Like I said, I don't mind doing them, but you have to own the file to begin with. so that he gets paid for the file and then I get paid for printing and putting it together. Hopefully they like it. Because, like I said, I try to make my customs look as good as possible, as humanly possible. Because so far, the range of motion for the head, we have really good side to side. The head, you get a little bit of wiggle to it, can rotate. Shimming up and down is a little bit harder. The way the joint is, you get the mouth open and close, the neck. Really got to stop touching that. Thankfully, we're not at the point yet where it's getting too hard to mess with. So we will fix that. Again, like I said, I start messing with things and then it messes other things up. I just need to put it down. So it looks good. Anyways, I'm going to hold it by the spines, which hurts, but this you get a little bit of wiggle up and down, which is better than what it was. I think I can get a little bit more out of it though, if I mess around with it more. Waist right now, it's probably where you get the most bang for your buck. He's got a lot of play there. He's a little bit forward facing. If I get rambunctious enough, I might try to shift him forward a little bit. Just so there's not so much of a U here. Like I said, I think it's fine for the most part, but when I do the bend, I don't want to try to have to compensate for this. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then haven't really got, like I said, can't really show the legs too much, but the arms and legs should be pretty good. And then the tail, currently, like I said, you get a really nice in one direction, but because of the way the tail was sculpted, it just really hinders trying to get it all the way to the other side. But you do get full side, and then it can go up and down. Yeah, you can use pretty much any printer work. I recommend resin because I think it just looks, they come out looking better. You can do it with filament. I've definitely seen people do it, and you can get it looking good enough. But I think you'll get most bang for your buck out of a resin printer. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. So help us to beat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a ranger today. We also got Instagram, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. Guys like keep all the date with the channel and donate, greatly would appreciate it. If you guys would like to get on our Discord, it's the easiest way to get a hold of me, especially if you like to get customs and commissions done. You guys will see Toshi in the chats. He is a part of our Discord. I tend to do stuff a little bit cheaper for people on Discord too, because I take it into account you donate. I greatly appreciate it. But it's like the easiest way and the fastest way from getting me anything done. You can check me out on Instagram at unimportantsteve. Yeah, I wish we had more people in the Discord. Would be great. Because I think we got like 10 or 12 people now that are randomly in it. But still really enjoy it. Love my Discord. And if you guys like to pick up some collectibles for yourself, link in the description for CaucusToys.com, especially if you guys... Yep, there is a Discord. It's attached to our Patreon, though. So it's $3. You donate on our Patreon, get you in the Discord. You get sent a link. And, well, like I said, if you guys are looking to get the Haya Godzilla, especially the new one with the Atomic Blast, the 91 Godzilla should be probably up to... If it's not up now, it should be pretty soon. So you can follow the link in the description, help support the channel that way. If you'd like to pre-order that, you can save 6% off your order with code SteveCaucus at checkout. Other stuff they got for pre-orders, the King Ghidorah. Actually, the newest Ghidorah is actually out on Caucus. So if you guys like to get it, same with the Muto. It's a little more expensive if they're released than they were pre-ordered. But that and the Muda were still both on there. And then the 2014 to go along with it was still up for pre-order last time I checked. Or if you guys like pick up some stateside collectibles, link in the description for Entertainment Earth. I'll support the channel that way. They do free shipping over orders of 80, which is great. Also helps support the channel. Again, link in the description if you guys want to follow that. And again, if you guys are buying off Entertainment Earth or Calcus, it's again free, helps me out a lot. But just make sure to, if you want to just like click on a video to go to the links, you don't have to watch the video, just to get to the link. Again, help support the channel that way, and it's free. Any free ones? No. All the ones I make, I don't make available for other people. So, like my beams and such, you have to literally buy the beams off me. I don't sell the files. And some of the other files that I've used, I try to credit where credit's due. So, like the Zillas. Like I said, I printed these. They're on the channel. They're Arctic figures. Honestly, I don't know who made this one. This is the other one I'm working on. This one's just like commissioned for somebody, so it's not like I'm ever going to make another one unless somebody really wants to. But this is the dragon from Fairy Tale, which he's pretty much ready to go. I was hoping to get the wings set up. I keep forgetting to buy nails so I can pin the wings, and then he'll be good to paint. I used to give it away, but now that he charges for it, I tend not to. So if anybody asks me about printing a new one, I make sure that they at least own the file before I do it, just to cover myself. So I don't get in trouble for printing stuff. Yeah. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.